Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm excited to be back after a long while my friend was carrying out the channel all by himself. But nevertheless, it's end of 2024, but there hasn't been any shortage of these UFO sightings. And more recently, what I witnessed is this drones, or as they call it, drones, or some sort of an aerial phenomenon, especially in the New Jersey area. There's been like an influx of sightings or drones, and it's been occurring frequently, like over weeks. And allegedly, there is also a UFO landing that happened somewhere in New Jersey. So I wanted to just talk about it and see where this conversation goes.
In Bedminster, though you see one of the drones caught the other night. Authorities say they're not typical small drones that you can buy at the store, but big, large ones. And the continued mystery now is prompting New Jersey State Senator and Republican candidate for governor, John Bramnick, to slam the feds for their lack of answers on this. Senator...
Don't know about the landing, but what's happening is, or what's being reported is, a lot of drones has been sighted in and around New Jersey area. It's more than, I think it's confirmed, more than 8 counties, and it just keeps increasing. It's not like reducing at all. So, and even over Trump's golf course and his residence has had drone movement. Again, they term it as drone.
Right. We basically don't know.
But that's the point, right? Like when you don't know something, but like still you are so confirmed that it is a drone. And but anyway, we'll talk about the speculation or like what it is. But before, like just like saying what is being reported. So the important thing is like this is not an isolated incident which is happening just in New Jersey.
Okay.
This has been reported worldwide. In several places. So things are happening in UK sensitive military region, specifically what is that? Lakenheath Royal Air Force US military air base. So it's a US air base operated at UK facility. So these are nuclear capable facilities. So it's not just on one place, many places where these sightings have been happening, and people have been in a way terrorized because UK is not the same as US. It's a very densely populated country, and like when you have such drones or whatever unknown things, and not just in military areas, like sometimes like they also come towards residences. So it is kind of picked out. Like in UK, they haven't giving much of anything what is happening. So only thing which has been talked about is from Pentagon, which we'll go over. But before, like as I said, like even in France, I think they had several sighting where like they were seeing some kind of an aerial, maybe let's call it drone, which was moving more than like 15 Mach speed, which we don't have anything like that, 15 or 20 Mach speed. Even if you see in the tracker, like something like that, it just like goes around like crazy. And then apparently even in India there were like several sightings. I don't know how officially it was reported, but it is not like an isolated. Like Australia has it, Kazakhstan, Japan, everywhere. Like this is being now increasing worldwide.
Right. Has it happened in the same time frame that?
Yeah, almost like now. This phenomena has been going on for a while. Like even before this, like we have been talking about Langley Air Force Base.
Right.
And even before that, like long back, like we know like all this UFO sightings happens in nuclear facilities, right? Everywhere. But the only thing is the frequency and the number has increased so much. Now it's very difficult for people to just ignore saying that, oh, these are just some random balloons, right? Now, okay, the way the Pentagon came and talked about this in the press briefing is, oh yeah, these are drones. They're very much, oh yeah, it's drones, but the way they downplayed it is, we don't want to shoot down, like, because you think about it, right? Like where these are sensitive military facilities, anything which is coming into a sensitive airspace, it's immediate threat. Right. Be it like anything. And one has to remember, these are not drones which you can just like buy from Amazon. Because people have been reporting saying these are car-sized vehicles, which means like, okay, have you ever seen a car-sized drone?
Okay. I mean, not that that's publicly out there, or not that it's very common, but who knows? Maybe.
Yeah, it's not a simple thing which you can buy out of Amazon. And one also has to remember, there are like several mechanisms where people have to, if military or like FAA, they want to kind of defend themselves, they have several ways to do it. so they can have something where like send back to the owner or send back to the sender, so they can jam the signal. It can be sent back. So, and there are even any commercial drones you have, they cannot fly over sensitive areas at
Right.
all. So these must be something which is like very much manufactured in a very specific way, and also these are not like some simple way to manufacture, right? So something which is like size of the car need
Right.
to have a really good design to carry, and some of these drones are supposed to hover without any kind of sometimes without any sound for hours together. So we don't have any such technology
that
which
we
is
know
like,
of.
yeah, we know of,
Right.
which is
Right.
available commercially or openly. And also the most thing is like most of these things are coming at night. And one of the recent thing also in New Jersey, they saw several dense set of drones or whatever unknown vehicle coming out of ocean and
Okay.
going back to ocean. So, and they have, in the same kind of a thing was observed in UK as well, someplace. So they are investigating, but none of this has been officially acknowledged by the Pentagon or any of the government channels. So they are saying,
Right.
oh yeah, these could be some hobbyist, or like, we don't want to accidentally shoot down someone's drones, like, because there are like several other ways to do it. Like, so I don't know if you know this Andural Industries. So it's a defense contracting company,
Okay.
which is started by Palmer Luckey. He's a person who was the founder of Oculus Rift.
Oculus.
Yeah, that guy. So he went to a defense side of things. So they have, they're still a small company, but like I'm just saying, like even very recently, they have very specific anti-drone mechanism where we can go and capture. But the other question is, okay, people always complain, oh, why we don't have a clear picture of a UFO, or like why we don't have a clear picture of these drones, right?
Mhm.
Why it's like always blurry or like something. And one has to remember, some of these drones are like something, they seem to give out sound which doesn't make sense. Sometimes, okay, they don't have any sound. Sometimes they do make sounds like as real drones.
Mhm.
Sometimes like a sound of an aircraft which are at cruising altitude, but even though they are stationary. So you're getting
Oh,
it. So
right. Right.
basically, one thing people have to
It's trying to
remember is
trick you into thinking it's
exactly.
something that you know.
Exactly. So these UFOs are like UAPs are
Mhm.
known in the past to mimic things which people think they are
So
seeing.
that it's relatable.
Yeah.
And
That,
you
that,
like let it slide. You won't think too much about it.
exactly. There were in the past where there were sometimes people have reported seeing aircraft which has like two fuselage. So when they try to mimic, they won't be always perfect.
Right.
So it looks like some of these, it's unknown, but like we can't really say, definitely say this is like a non-human intelligence, or so my simple hypothesis, or like the thing which we can really put this is like either this has to be something which is NHI,
Mhm.
or three, maybe three categories, or this is part of something which is US or which possesses. But the problem is maybe a reverse engineered technology, or like maybe something which they have advanced. But the problem is like why this is going through their own sensitive areas and like trying to kind of scare its own people, not just within US, worldwide.
Worldwide.
So that
Maybe
doesn't make sense.
what I just the thing just that came to my mind is US is trying its own technology that they built and making sure that it can go through all these sensitive military areas. It's like a testing phase. So they have built something, and like you said, if it's a generic drone that you can buy off of Amazon or whatever, it cannot get into military zones because there will be jammers and whatnot that would cut its accessibility. So let's assume that no, we have built this drone technology
No, I have
and
a
we are
problem with
testing it
it.
in our own country.
I have a problem with that hypothesis.
Okay.
The problem I have is if that's the case, there were even reports recently where there were emergency helicopters which
Mhm.
were trying to accommodate emergency situations,
Mhm.
and they had to stop because these drones were sighted.
Oh, okay.
So it is affecting civilian population, and it is affecting people who are around. They are like freaked out, and it is affecting any kind of aviation things which is happening around. And it's not just US airspace we are talking about, it's happening in UK and other countries. So even if US is trying to test this out, even if you take that hypothesis, you are not just like testing out without any effect to the population, you are also violating airspaces in other countries.
Right.
So which is not like something you would just like deliberately do. And one more thing which we have to see is this has started happening more, the frequency or like the amount, the number of these phenomena is increased dramatically right after the time when US has sanctioned or like allowed the usage of ballistic missiles to Ukraine. So it has capability which can go all the way to Russia, I believe. So, which is a kind of an
Wait,
interesting timing.
the ballistic missile that US has
Which
here?
is like the one which Ukraine now has.
Oh, okay.
They have capability now, which they have been given approval, where like they can potentially
Okay.
fire it all the way to Russia.
Russia. Okay.
So, which is like kind of an interesting time where like, or like, okay, why that thing has anything to do with like, obviously we all know, okay, we are living in a almost like a World War III kind of a neck and neck situation. Hopefully nothing
Right.
happens.
Right.
So that's why we cannot rule out the possibility that these could be some maybe a Russian or a Chinese or like any other country, because they could also have technologies which are far ahead.
Yeah.
Or maybe they also could have reverse engineered some of the NHI technologies
that they're able to get their hands on.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. They also would have had a crash retrieval team, right? Like, and
Probably.
obviously, yeah, they have more easier way to go through things than like compartmentalization, which
Or
used
maybe
to
there is
happen
some
here.
kind of treaty where even if one country gets their hands
Yeah.
on these alien technology, they'll have to like share it with the other prime vendors or whatever.
But the problem with that hypothesis is, if that's the only case, then like why, if the whole idea is to spy the areas or things around, it should be really stealth.
Exactly.
But all of these things are making so much noise or like flashing lights.
So that's what I was going to get at. The New Jersey drone videos that I've seen, mostly on Reddit, they have these like glowing red, yellow, green, blue lights underneath it in like a star shape or a square shape, whatever shapes, but it's like visible. It's like it's not spying for sure. It's like, hey, it's saying, I'm here, look at me. And it's going slow. It's not trying at Mach 15 or whatever.
No, some of the things it's mixing.
Right.
Yeah. Some
That's probably not clearly visible.
So there was one daytime sighting video which was there, which I don't know, I can't like authenticate that particular, but like it was interesting where it's a humanoid looking figure. It's like similar to that jellyfish UFO kind of a thing, just like hovering.
Oh, just like that is the UFO itself. Yeah, the humanoid figure. Yeah, is what we call. Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's like just like hovering in midair, or I think it's in Sacramento or somewhere.
Even David Blaine can do that, so we don't know if that is actually UFO or.
Yeah, but the point is, okay. The other interesting thing which I saw was. It's like there is a deliberate censorship which is also which people are, or like the government is trying to put in. Mm-hmm. So when during the press report, like from Pentagon, when people ask, okay, what's happening in the UK, because this is not like an isolated incident where like, because these guys say, oh, we are trying to come up with some strategic plan to defend or like make everything go away. But obviously they can't reveal. That's why I'm saying, oh, it's like because it's all confidential.
Right.
But then when they ask about like, oh, this is not an isolated incident. Like things are happening in UK, US bases too, right? Like the response was like, no, you should ask them. We don't have connection with them. Kind of answer. What is it? It's all like US, right?
Yeah. If I have to speculate on that point, the spokesperson of the Pentagon maybe has access to information to only that level. Even they don't know what is happening in the background, right?
Yeah.
So whatever they say to us is all that they know, because even they are not given access to the actual happenings.
No, that's true. That's true. But the whole point of like, say, I can also be then a spokesperson, right? For Pentagon. Right. I don't have all the information. I can also say something. But the whole idea of someone to be a spokesperson is you want to clarify the confusion which people are having. Oh, yeah. So the whole meaning of spokesperson goes off if you really are not representing an information which is coming in. Yeah. It's like, so, hey, I'm giving an access to a system saying, oh, but that's access is not really an access. Yeah. So
like need to know basis. Do you have the need?
Exactly. But the interesting thing is like there is another interesting channel called Liberty Times, which is from UK. So this guy is someone who is not related to UFO or anything. Like he's someone who always goes to Lakenheath Airport or like military base, and like maybe he generally tries to telecast or broadcast planes or whatever going around.
Okay.
And he was capturing things, and then like he was during all these activities, right? UFO activities. He was telecasting this live through YouTube. So there are so much of footage which people, and this was going viral. And the interesting thing was,
maybe we'll provide a link for that video.
Yeah, that's what you would have wanted to do. But it was taken down.
By who? YouTube?
The channel is gone. His email is also gone. And this guy had.
Did you? Okay, maybe no. Probably the answer is probably no. But do you know anyone that actually saw the video and it was?
Yeah. There were people.
was live?
I've seen some of the footage which he was telecasting, and then like also then he went to a different channel. He spoke about the issues which he had.
Okay.
And obviously now he has created a new channel. Obviously he's not like telecasting, but like while he was doing it, like he was approached by several people, American people in US, sorry in UK.
UK.
Why you are doing this? But obviously they didn't stop him or anything. But after they approached, within few years, that's when his channel was taken down.
Okay.
That's interesting. And then the other thing is like in New Jersey, just yesterday, last night.
So you know what? When this happens, when you try to shoot. I mean, shoot in the sense when you try to take a photograph or video of a government facility or a secret military base, and if someone in security notices you, that's when they come and like stop you.
He's not like a UK
photographing.
person. He's not on any official person. And this guy was approached by official person also.
Mhm.
And he has all the rights to take the videos. And he's been doing this for not like now.
Right.
He's been doing this for a long time.
Right.
And only now
That particular when that drone
incident,
or whatever.
and this guy clearly said like it wasn't a drone. He didn't hear any noise. And in fact, like the conversation he was hearing from people, pilots around in the facility, they were clearly saying this is a UAP or UFO.
Right.
They were not saying it's a drone or anything. Because again, in UK, they have sent F-22 or like all these fighter jets to chase some of this.
Mm-hmm.
And one has to remember, like maybe, yeah, US also or like military will also have drones, right? Like why can't they send a drone to take a footage? So sometimes maybe some of the observation which is happening, maybe is the drones which is sent by the military to assess what is happening to. So there is a mixture of things too. So
exactly.
we can't like take away that. But the other interesting thing is like when I was talking about this people trying to suppress, right? So just last night I was watching another channel which was streaming some of these drone footage from New Jersey. That channel was also taken down. It's crazy where like how these things are. And the most weird thing is like all these news media channels and everyone sticking to the point that this is drones. Why can't we say it's unidentified? Because they don't want to associate this whole thing with the other phenomena which is being discussed in the forum now openly. Okay, they don't want to make this like it's like in the same way how in the past people used to say, oh, everything is a balloon or a swamp gas. Now you have, because at that time there wasn't a drone technology or anything, so they couldn't say that. Now we know, okay, it's easy to escape some of these sightings, and this is not a new thing where like people have mass sightings.
Do you think it's the reason is like to not cause public some sort of paranoia by keep telling, oh, there is something in the sky, we don't know what that is, it looks dangerous. When you keep repeating that sort of a negative tone, then it makes people have paranoia or it's unsettling, right? So rather we could use a word that's like relatable and still assures some sort of rest and peace among the public, saying drones.
So your point,
the truth is we don't know what it is.
So your point is the government never has to. So the government can lie as long as making the people feel okay.
That's not new.
That's what you're saying.
Government lying is not new.
But that's the whole point. Like, is that what you want? I know like that's what is happening, but that's what like should be, because the whole point of keeping anyone accountable is you want truth and transparency.
That's true. Yeah, the truth has to come out. We need to learn about this whole thing, right?
Yeah, but like then like tell them you can keep it, because even now, just like saying something is drone, I would say it's even more dangerous, because I would rather want this to be a non-human intelligence or exhibiting something which is not really gonna come and wipe us out, or like which doesn't really care, or maybe it's just interested on something, than thinking this is something which is like a Russian or a Chinese,
a spy,
where they have the capability where they can penetrate into any base, sensitive airbase, without any impunity. Because even if the US is trying to do something, they are not able to do something, because that's like far more dangerous than like thinking this is some NHN. So we want
right. Yeah, I'm not siding on either one. I don't want it to be like, I would rather it be a Russian spy drone rather than an alien technology. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But the reason why Pentagon or US officials are calling it something that relatable to public and they don't have to worry too much about it, right? I think that's the reason why. It's just my opinion. Maybe
No, that's true. But point is, it's again lying, right? It's which is what is continuing.
we are used to being right.
No, but we don't want the light if we want to know what is happening.
Yeah,
because
that's
people
true.
need to know. Because that's the same thing what happened even COVID, right? Like when
Mhm.
initially COVID was happening, the government wasn't saying, "Oh no, there is nothing." But like on the background,
Mhm.
a lot of these government, Congress and Senate people, like they bought a lot of stocks.
Mhm.
They were prepared.
Yeah.
But like, the rest of the population weren't prepared. So
That's
that's a very unfair thing, right? Like where like
Yes.
people having, so we have like insider rules for stock trading. The same thing. This is also an insider information. Maybe what if like there is something important where people have to be aware of, which is coming. Maybe they are not like being.
And maybe there's already a part of a group of people on the other side that has already become billionaires or trillionaires or whatever
Yeah.
with the technology
Yeah.
that they have access to, which we
Exactly.
do not
Yeah.
even know
Yeah.
exists. That's a possibility
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Crazy thing is, I don't know if you know this, where like there is one guy, I forgot his name, where like he's supposed to, he uses some web bot or something which used to crawl the internet, and that bot used to predict things. So one of the prediction, this was like long back. It has predicted multiple things. I don't know how we can verify, but like apparently it has predicted a lot of things, is what they say. One of his prediction was when Trump gets interviewed by Joe Rogan.
Mhm.
And this was a prediction made in 2009 or something, or like some long time ago.
Okay.
39 days from that interview, there will be a lot of UFO sighting or some kind of a very mass thing which will happen.
Wait, are you serious?
I'm not kidding. And there are a lot of remote viewers who have also predicted mass sightings exactly in December this time.
Remote viewing. Okay.
Yeah, so that's a way thing. Again, obviously, I don't. I know like remote viewing is real, but this other web art prediction, I'm not too much into it. I feel like because something's crawling over the internet data and an AI trying to predict all this is like kind of too much for me. But this one was like okay, because this has a scientific. Other one has a remote viewing has a scientific backing. But anyway, it's just an interesting thing where like how some of these things are matching with some of the observation which we are seeing. Again, maybe this is just a kind of a phase. Maybe every time, like maybe sometimes, like how Phoenix Light happened or things like that. Maybe this is one of those events which is happening and it'll go off. We don't know. But point is, we are not knowing the truth. We don't know what it is.
That seems to be a common acknowledgement among all sort of people that is who relates them to UFO. It could be ufologists, UFO enthusiasts, believers, non-believers, skeptics. Among all these groups, the one common thing is like we all feel that we are being hidden from the truth, right? But let's go back to this New Jersey drone. Did you hear or read anything about the shapes that people saw in the New Jersey area?
Yeah, it's
Was
a
it the
lot
same
of
shape?
what size is pretty clear. Like a lot of people did talk about like at least size of a car, SUV, something like that. And then shape is like I think it's multiple shapes. Some has some fixed wings also, and some doesn't have wings. Some like some weird shapes
Like a tic tac, no wings.
no, not like that. Not
Oh,
like
okay.
that. Like, but those things, like I think, like in UK, I've heard about like where things like it didn't have any much of visible propulsion thing. But that's the other thing, right? Like one thing is where when craft is just like hovering for hours together, but making a cruising airplane noise, like as if like it's moving a high speed towards something else. So it's like it feels like it is making sound up and not like maybe it is an actual thing. So that's the other stuff, right? Like where like some of these UFOs generally also known to morph shapes. So it can also it can shape shift.
Oh, okay.
Or also it can camouflage in a way where it can project, make some holographic projection kind of a thing where people see it differently than what it actually is. So maybe there is no drone too. Who knows, right? It's like that's why like we don't have a clear footage. At this point, it's even when we say drones, when government clearly says it's drones, and you have to remember all these news now. Even mainstream media is covering this topic, and they have $100,000 worth of camera, which is like supposed to be the best in class, and they are not able to capture these. And like you saying or like, oh, why we don't get a UFO video, right? Like now we have this, why we don't get a video? Like even though there is like so much of camera, if you guys are saying really this is just drone, right? Give me a clear footage of or close up of all we get is mostly from people, civilians. And those things clearly looks anomalous, and it's varied. Like I said, one is humanoid looking, another is like some flashy lights, and some is smudged and blurry, and most of the things are blurry. You don't still get a clear, good image.
That's true. Even the slow moving UFO ones, even those images or videos, they are still blurry. It's not.
Yeah, one of the reason we do know from the explanation from book Imminent from Luis Elizondo, they say like it distorts the space time around it, and that's one of the reason why all these UFOs are blurry.
Huh.
So the light,
it's just not the cheap camera that we hold.
It's not because of the
daylight
camera.
light, night light.
But in general, like again, that's also would be a factor, I guess. Like even when you try to take any picture at night, you don't get a great image. But you would expect $100,000 camera. Yes. News people have, they should be able to get all these things, true. Right? Why we don't get it? Yeah.
I thought by the end of the year things would like calm down a little bit in this subject, but no, it's just like it's accelerating.
I think maybe there is something big coming.
At least I would want that to happen to like get the total understanding and not just be on the speculative side of this stuff. Anyways, that's the story about New Jersey drones sighting. Not just New Jersey, but like
worldwide
drone sightings. So let us know what you think of this particular scenario, and leave a comment so that we know what you think about it. Thank you.
Thanks.